What's up, everyone? So today we're going to be doing Jupiter in the 10th house. And what happens when Jupiter comes into your 10th house on the birth chart? So 10th house. 10th house is the house of your career. It's the house of your authority outside in the world. Like when you step outside of your house, what is your title? What is your authority? What do people think of you? Because it's the outside world. Since 4th house is the home world, your home sanctuary. But as soon as you step outside, what do they know? Like, here I am, like, just normal Kapil Raj, okay? But when I step outside that house, what is this Kapil Raj really is? What do people think of me? You know, how am I treated outside in the world? So it's a house of your career mainly, and your reputation and your authority. So Jupiter comes into play here. And Jupiter is your guidance, your religious views, your belief system, any kind of belief system, your philosophical views, your higher learning, your teachings of your father. So the first thing you should see, and it represents your husband too, all you women out there, all your single women out there, okay? So when Jupiter comes in here, the first thing I see is that very good teachings of a father. Unless it's debilitated, of course, but just Jupiter itself in the 10th house, okay, it shows very good teachings of your father. Your father was like a teacher to you, literally. Like your father can also be a teacher with this position, okay. You have tremendous respect for your father. Your father also had a pleasant voice. You yourself have a pleasant voice. You have a very philosophical outlook towards career. When you go into work, you bring your belief system and you bring your your just views that you have grown up with in childhood, you bring it into your workplace. And so this is where it can be a mixed place for Jupiter to be in. Okay, because in workplace, when you step outside, there are certain rules and regulations that you need to operate with. You can't just bring your belief systems from home outside and think that they're going to work. No, but they may not work. You're going to need some adjustments. Okay, so if you think that I cannot have a African American male or woman as my boss because I'm superior to them, well, you're going to have to put those beliefs in the home. And when you step outside, you better respect them because they have earned their spot. And so this is where it kind of gives mixed results, where Jupiter is, you know, that he just, once he believes in something, he just believes in something. Whether him being agnostic, religious, atheist, white supremacist, Black Panther, you know, like freaking obsessed with Indian culture or anything, any belief system, okay? Jupiter kind of retains that. So when he goes into the workplace, he wants to put that in motion. And this is where it kind of get into trouble, okay? But usually, most of the time, normal people out there, you know, they tend to, their belief system and their upbringing tends to help them in their career. Like these people make some of the best counselors, best psychologists. They can do very good in teaching profession and university profession. They can do very good as somebody in biological field, biology, because Jupiter represents biology. They can also be in a counselor position, and not just a personal counselor, but they can be a diplomat. They can be a diplomat for one country to another. So in a government position, it kind of works because the belief system of Jupiter is I want to follow the law and I want to apply the law and I want other people to follow the law. So the field of law and government is very good here. Like they necessarily do not want to be politicians, but they want to be working in the back end as somebody who, you know, writes the bill, sets the law. Because we just hear about presidents, vice presidents, and senators. You do not know the thousands and thousands of people that are still in the government beneath them or behind them making things work, okay? And a woman will meet her husband at a workplace. She can meet her husband on a diplomatic trip. She can meet her husband in a work conference. Okay, so but mostly it'll be a very professional setting, and this is a very good position for doing foreign trades, foreign businesses as well. Okay, Now from 10th house, Jupiter aspects the second house of speech and family, 4th house of home and mother's nourishment, and 6th house of work, enemies, diseases, conflicts. So let's see how his aspects work in these places. So when Jupiter is in the 10th house, looking at the second house of family, business, speech, your food intake, it again gives you inclination towards following your family's upbringing, your family business. You can take upon your family business, okay? And your speech will be very pleasant, very guidanceful, very very philosophical speech. Like when you speak to somebody, you speak with some depth, and you have intelligence when you speak. So your speech has a lot of intelligence because Jupiter represents knowledge. And even though Mercury represents intelligence, however, it's kind of like a similar pattern. When you have knowledge, worldly knowledge, it automatically makes you intelligent. Okay, so speech will be very good. You can be a public speaker. You can be somebody like Wayne Dyer, somebody who goes out and tells the world, how to live a spiritual life. Your mother's nourishment and your mother's teaching will be, very solid. Like you'll have with this position, without looking at if it's debilitated or if it's exalted, this gives a very sound upbringing with mother and father both. Because not only Jupiter is in the 10th house of father's nourishment and father's relationship with the father, but 4th house of mother's nourishment and mother's relationship. So both your parents, can be very religious and philosophical in views. And these people are very routine minded. Like they are more of a worker than a businessman. Like they like routine, they like to work behind the scenes in administrative positions. However, anytime a positive planet comes into the 10th house, like Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, they tend to give a very pleasant fame out in the world. Like people will respect you. They will be like, hey, he's a nice person. Okay. Fame doesn't always simply means that you're going to be a superstar and you're going to be, the next Giselle or some Katrina Kaif or Angelina Jolie. No, fame simply means, when they talk about fame in astrology, is that your presence out in the world, maybe in your community, maybe in your business, your customers know you. That's a fame. Okay. So it'll be very good. But mother's nourishment and a home life is very spiritual. It's very much could be religious if you were brought up that way. And then it looks at the 6th house of enemies. And here it can show, if Jupiter is in well position, shows victory over enemies through diplomacy, through your speech, okay, through your beliefs, you can overcome your enemies. Shows working in litigations, working as a lawyer, resolving conflicts of people, because 6th house is conflicts. Jupiter wants to resolve that, so represents conflicts, resolving conflicts of other people. You can overcome your diseases, but otherwise, it's a very sound place for Jupiter to be in. But the mixed results come into play is when Jupiter really tries to put his beliefs and his philosophy on other people. Because the other people have their own philosophy and their beliefs, okay, and they may clash with your thing. So you have to that's something you have to watch out for, okay. So guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter in the 10th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe above. And if you want to know where your Jupiter is placed and where other planets are placed, and to know about real astrology, check out my link below. Check out my book, The Astrology at the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I will send you the link to look at your own chart. Just make sure you follow the directions below on the link. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.